and welcome to AVIXA TV. We're back in Orlando, Florida for I can speak today. Hello. Oh my gosh, it's such an amazing time to be here at InfoComm 2023. I am Samantha Powell.
And I'm Ben Thomas. We are so fired up that you guys are joining us today. If you are here on site, big welcome to all of you. If you're listening to us online or watching us online, we just want to say hi to you as well. We so appreciate you checking us out today. But Sam, what do we have for this first show?
We've got a really great show for you. So we're going to start off with two of my favorite colleagues on our Expo team. They're going to give us a little bit of a preview of what is to expect here at InfoComm. Then where are we going?
Then our next conversation is about workforce development in Pro AV, specifically retention, recruiting, things like that. It's a conversation I'm incredibly passionate about. Looking forward to chatting about that.
And then we're going to finish up with a wonderful group of guys called the Bald AV. That's their names. I didn't give it to them, so they got a wonderful podcast. So we're going to talk to them a little bit about that and what they're doing at Pace University, which is a school that I happen to go to. So I think it's time to get this show going.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Again. Once again, we're so happy that you're joining us. And for all of you watching at home, we want to send a special shout out to Greg Feehan. So thank you all for watching. As we said, we're just so excited to be here. The energy is amazing. We're here seeing everything just coming together. So we know it's going to be a really great show.
Look, Sam, we're excited about it. This is our second year hosting the show together. First time in Orlando. But that's a lot of fun. Orlando InfoComms offer a whole different experience for those of you who are typically the Vegas side. We're talking a little bit more about events and entertainment, talking about theme parks, things like that. Different crowd, different show, but we're super excited to be here on the East Coast for AVIXA TV.
Yes, the weather may be humid, but we're hot here on stage, so we're really ready to go ahead and get this show started. So I'd like to introduce our first two guests. We've got Becca Stach and Dorian Taylor, so thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Definitely. So Dorian, you know, you and I, we had our fun Road to InfoComm podcast,
and it was a fun road trip.
It was wonderful to film with you. So now that you're here, in full effect, like, what do you think?
I'm just super excited to be here. It's nice to see you in person. There's so much already going on here, and I have a really good feeling about this year's show. It's going to be a really fun one.
It's going to be fantastic. And what are your thoughts, Becca?
I mean, I always love coming to InfoComm just because, especially on days like this, where the show is still being set up, and you know that tomorrow it's going to be done. Like, I always feel like there's part of me that's like, will it? So I'm so looking forward to the show being open tomorrow after the ribbon cutting ceremony, being able to walk through and just see all the new tech, just being able to see like all the AV tweets in person.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, it's hard sometimes to associate faces with tweets, but I'm going to try my best, I promise. Dorian, we'll have you kick it off today. Obviously, InfoComm, the largest Pro AV specific show in North America, second to ISE internationally, but this year looks a lot different, not only from an exhibitor standpoint, but from some of the things that are happening, whether that's eSports, networking. I even heard that there's some yoga happening. What is happening at this year's show?
There's a lot of new stuff this year. Like you said, eSports is making its InfoComm debut this year. We have champion-level collegiate teams. They're battling it out in Rocket League, and so you can watch that live. That's going to be a ton of fun.
And a chance, too, to play yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
So.
There's a bunch of interactive experiences. Moment Factory has a really cool interactive experience. The Unreal Ride is going to be another cool one. Yoga, you're right. If you want to start the day with some Zen, we have a good yoga program over by the Hyatt. And yeah, what am I missing, Becca?
You forgot about the puppies.
Oh, the puppies.
We have a special wellness space out in the lobby that's full of puppies. It's an adoption event, so you will definitely see me walking around probably with some dog fur on me.
Oh my goodness.
Gotta stop by.
Oh, and you can adopt them? Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, got to check that out. So I know one of the big things and pulls of InfoComm is the opportunity to meet new people and network. So what type of experiences are there here at InfoComm 23 this year?
Well, I mean, tonight we've got digital signage reception over at View Orlando. That's going to be a really popular one. I myself am going to be there. We had Congresso is actually happening right now, a once upon a time, a online experience for our Spanish-speaking AV tweeps, now in person. So it's an entire session that lasts all day, completely in Spanish. So if you're not there yet and you want to check it out, it's still happening.
Still time.
Right, still time. And of course, a very popular event we have is the AVIXA Career Empowerment event. That's new this year. Did you want to talk a little bit about that one?
Sure. We also have the AVIXA Women's Breakfast, which is going to be another good one. Also, there's going to be networking at every single booth across the show floor.
Right.
And a lot of people come to InfoComm for connections. That's one of their biggest reasons. And I think if you come here looking to make friends and make connections, you're going to do it. It's going on all across the show floor.
Definitely.
Well, Becca, I want to stick with you for a second and ask you about this. This is something we had a chance to talk about just a little bit before the show. There's something this year called the Trailblazer Zone, which gives people an opportunity to exhibit or attend maybe for the first time that haven't. Talk to us a little bit about what that is and how important it is to the InfoComm community.
Yeah, absolutely. So Trailblazer Zone, just like you said, for Trailblazers. So we have a lot of different niche types of technology in that area. We've got AR, AI, all of the things that are really big buzzwords.
All the two-letter
All of
acronyms.
it.
Yes, of course, and
Yes.
slightly related to computers taking over the world, but yeah, a lot of that in that specific area is great because they're all new exhibitors, have never been to InfoComm before, and you'll be able to see them all in one space. So like if you want to go down the line, you can go right ahead and do that.
That's awesome. So there's so many sights and sounds and exhibits. Just give us a little idea of like what's some of your favorite ones.
Well, so far, RDAR is doing some really cool stuff with 3D objects and augmented reality. They've helped me upgrade some of my content, so that's been really cool. I'm really looking forward to the interactive experience by Moment Factory. That's going to be a really cool gesture motion thing going on there. And then I'm looking forward to hearing some more of the audio side of things and going to the demo rooms and stopping by the audio exhibits here.
For me, it's definitely digital signage. I'm very much a visual person, so we actually have an America racing game this year. So Rochelle is going to be a little character in a Porsche. So you have the ability to drive a Porsche on this racing game. And so if you want to go and try the game, you can potentially win a headset from them, and they're going to have a leaderboard and everything. So I'm kind of a gamer myself, so I might be a little biased.
Yeah, no, I saw it looked really cool. I was like, Shell looks, that's a good one to check out. So.
Well, Dorian, one thing that you mentioned a second ago that I've had the chance to experience firsthand is the Unreal Ride.
Oh, yeah.
Something that has been brought kind of over from the NAB side. I've had a chance to do it there, but have it here. It's a totally new experience. Right. There's a Jeep involved. Tell us what's happening there.
I haven't gone over there for myself yet. Becca, have you?
I can speak a little bit on that. Yeah, so there is a Jeep in the booth, and the idea is that it's a total immersive experience. So you're in the Jeep, they have screens around you, and the idea is that it's supposed to feel like you're out driving the Jeep. They have I believe airbags underneath to like make it feel like you're actually on the road. Complete screens around you, so no matter where you look, it would be as if you were looking out the windows of a Jeep. So
That's so cool.
I'm definitely also trying that.
Okay. So after this, we've got a couple of things we need to check.
I will be riding in a Jeep probably 4 or 5 times this week.
4 or
yes.
5.
Yes. Well, awesome. We appreciate you guys coming in to kick the show off officially live on AVIXA TV here from the AVIXA Exchange live booth. But look, we talked about the Moment Factory. One of the things that we wanted to spotlight, especially on the Road to InfoComm series, is the Moment Factory. Take a second, tune in.
Hello, everyone. I'm joined by Jamie Reilly, the general manager of Moment Factory, and we've got a new experience at InfoComm this year that we're really excited to learn about. So, Jamie, how are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, it's great to have you. We're super excited about this. And there's going to be a new interactive experience zone at the show. So could you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yes, absolutely. We're very, very excited to be collaborating for the first time with InfoComm and building a unique, what we're currently calling playful interactive installation. We will be installing this interactive installation where through the 3 days that we will be at InfoComm, we'll have different activations. So the idea is really to utilize the infrastructure that we will have to create various forms of engagements, but also to continuously be surprising the audiences that will be at InfoComm, because every day will be a different experience. So we're hoping that people who came on the first day will want to come back on the second and Thursday to see how the experience is evolving, to really showcase the versatility of multimedia.
The demand for immersive experiences has only grown in recent years. So why and how do you think it's grown so much? What is your perspective around it?
I think for me, there are two main reasons why these immersive and interactive experiences have gained in popularity. And the first reason is once you evolve from a passive participation to an active one, so where you can influence the output of something, it really creates long-lasting memories, right? So the impact you have on a user, if you're just passive and consuming content versus interacting with the content and influencing it, creates much more meaningful moments and emotions. And the second one is that even though all of these experiences are various forms of collective experiences, right? But where I think it creates a unique opportunity in what we can do with multimedia and that sense of immersiveness is still create a unique user experience. So you can really personalize your own experience, even though there are many people and users that can come and experience it. Each experience will be unique to the user. Then I think we're going to see the expansion of not just immersive experiences, but where we're experiencing these will completely evolve in the years to come, because the possibilities become endless.
Make sure to say hi to Jamie at InfoComm, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be here.
All right, welcome back. That was a snippet from the Road to InfoComm series. The rest of those episodes can be found on AVIXA TV. Be sure to check it out at avixa.tv, which is quite convenient. Next conversation is one that I'm incredibly passionate about. It's about workforce retention, recruiting, things like that inside of the industry. It's something that has been on my heart since I've been in the industry, and something really that I'm excited to have a conversation about today, Sam.
No, definitely. It's really important, and I'm really glad that we've got our next two guests here to help dive a little bit deeper into it.
Absolutely, and those two guests are Althea Ricketts and Norbert Kreuzer. Thank you two so much for jumping on today.
Thank you
for having us.
Well, Norbert, we'll go ahead and start with you. We had a conversation before the show even started. You talked about really some of the barriers that currently exist between not only the recruiting standpoint from a talent standpoint, but also those educational institutions, right? Let's start there. What are some of the things from an educational side that you've seen as gateways into the AV industry?
So I think the biggest part is communication. You have to really reach out to schools and work with schools on what you need your workforce to look like. It's very challenging for schools, based on resources or all kinds of other reasons, to really know what the industry is like. So how can someone that doesn't know exactly how to prepare somebody for the workforce, prepare them for the workforce? So that dialogue needs to happen. And so there's a lot of opportunities even for employers, manufacturers to connect with schools on so many levels and to start that dialogue and conversation and work with schools versus waiting for a school to provide you with a product that then you feel doesn't work out.
No, definitely. And you mentioned communication is key. Now, do you find that it's easier now to gain more access to those schools and those individuals now that everything is a little bit more remote?
I think that makes things a little easier because you can do Zoom interviews, but ultimately I believe the in-person communication is still much easier simply because one of the challenges for students also is they don't really know this industry. So by just looking at it on the screen is not going to be the same experience. Put them in a warehouse with trucks and gear and LED walls and bring them here and they will be excited about it. But if they, quote unquote, just see it on a screen, I don't think it has the same impact.
Althea, I saw you light up. As soon as he said that, we've got to follow up. What are some of the things as a manufacturer that you wish people came into the workforce with a little bit more knowledge of?
Oh, how much time do we have?
We've got plenty.
So we need more people like Norbert. We need more people like Christopher Hope from the Loop Lab. We need more people like my friend Christopher Fitzpatrick in the audience. We need people that will drive this. Because as we just talked about, it's not going to happen organically, right? It's not going to happen by us just waiting for it to happen. So as a manufacturer, we're looking at the traditional education paths, but we're also looking at different ways to get people in, right? Community. I just came from a foundation board meeting where we were talking about just this. And we talked about the different inputs into the industry. Community is a huge one. Those community kind of grassroots, because Norbert is actually right. Nobody knows about this industry, really. They see the pomp and circumstance in front, but they don't understand the weight behind it. So, yeah, lots of avenues that we can investigate. Not just the traditional education, but there are other things that we can explore, and we are doing that.
No, that's wonderful, because I know I'm newer to the industry, but I know growing up and in schools, like, that was not anything that I had even known, like, that you could have a career in. Yeah. So, like, what are some of the things you would tell these students, you know, like, this is our industry, like, what are some of those touch points that you think that would be great for them to know about how wonderful this industry really is?
Here's what I tell them on day one. I tell them one thing. It says, whenever you hear sound come out of a speaker or see something on a display, somebody had to, how did it get there? Ask yourself that question, because it doesn't magically appear. And we live in a world today where people download apps and it's all there, but nobody asks how that app happened or anything of that nature. I mean, I have students coming from Minneapolis right now. I will ask tonight, well, how do you think when did you check your departure time for your flight, right? Oh, on that display. Well, how did that happen? And so it's that exploratory phase for these young creatives as well, because I really believe that you cannot be passionate about something that you don't know exists. So it's our job, I feel like, collaboratively to fill the workforce by exposing them, them meaning students and the next generation of creatives to take over what's next.
Well, Althea, I think what's important too, and we're talking a lot about the technical execution and the technical side of the industry. We haven't had a lot of conversations about the engineering and the product design side. Talk about some of the challenges and needs that we're seeing from a more maybe traditional business standpoint that we haven't been able to meet yet.
So the engineers, the product development, that's easy. You can get an engineering degree and you can transfer it to what we need to do in our industry, right? It's that other kind of skill that's needed for our integrator market. You can't really go to school to be an integrator. You just can't. So how do we transfer some of the skills into that function? Just heard of an example from my friend Brad, who sits on the board, that says, you know what, we started exploring mechanics. They had the wherewithal to fix things, to use their hands. How do we transfer that to something that's applicable in our industry? And they're doing that. So you have to be creative. You have to look at different ways to get what we need in, and then we can explore how we can expand it.
And so what would you tell companies who are looking to hire new people? What would you tell them, like, so that they're going to give more opportunities for, you know, people maybe who just are starting to enter into the industry, or maybe who don't have a lot of that experience? Is there a way that we can kind of bridge that and then help them, you know, go into these organizations?
So one of the things I think is always that initial icebreaker is, for example, companies have abilities to go to schools and just do a product demo or just show off their equipment, and that sparks, you know, sparks interest in young people to maybe say, well, this could be a career for me. Because again, if they don't know, it could be a career. How would they ever get passionate about it? You know, we had a group of students a few weeks ago at Electro Voice in the anechoic chamber, and they were experiencing speaker demos and thought that was cool. And I'm sure Shure actually has a Shure University. They do training programs, and so I think like I said, one of the things that would be great is to have the companies show off their products, even if it's not necessarily to sell it, but just to create awareness of it and what it could do, and then see what's next after that. So I think it's the initial spark that needs to be created that way.
I think that's excellent. So if we look around us and we see all these companies in this hall, right? So this month, Shure is having Bring a Child to Shure Day. And I think we have over 200 children that are coming. And this is from, I want to say from 5 all the way up to high school. I personally think by the time you get to high school, it's too late. You need to start earlier, right? So if every company in this hall did a Bring a Child to My Company Day to explore what we do, can you imagine how that could ripple effect that would be? So exactly, Norbert. I think you need to bring the young'uns, and I'm not talking about high school students, I'm talking about kindergarten, grade school, middle school, into the environment so they can start getting that energy in that youth and bring it forward.
I think one of the things too, and this is for both of you, when you look at the AV industry, a lot of times the point of entry is through hobbies or interests or volunteerism, right? Whether that's somebody who wants to be a video editor or somebody who wants to be a sound engineer. How do we help nurture that? We'll start, Norbert, with you on that educational side, right? Starting through even before that high school, right? How do we help foster that creativity? How do we help foster that, that hobby into a full-blown career?
I think most young people, including myself, at 15 and 16, they want to be rock stars because that's all they see. They want to be rappers or whatever it is. And so it's that's something that we try to do as best as we can, is to say, yeah, you can have that not as a career, but as a hobby or as an activity, but it can lead you to something else. And that something else, I have frank conversations with students, is also a paycheck, and it's things like that. People don't understand that. I think at that age either. They say, okay, I know I'm going to be this, and my stuff's going to be popular, and I'm going to be on Instagram, Spotify, or whatever it is. But a solid foundation as far as the paycheck goes and things like that, where you can even, I tell my students, you can supplement your creativity by working even part-time at a theater, at those types of things. That's, I think, and one more thing I wanted to add that makes this career maybe a little different from other traditional careers is that there is no one job here. You go to a nursing school and it's pretty much clear what you're going to be doing, right? A lot of traditional education, your college title is your job title. In this field, that's out the window. So it's that exercise that we try to do literally daily with these students to say, look, we're not trying to shatter your dreams, not becoming the next Jay-Z. However, there's this. But the exposure is what needs to happen, and that's what we're working on hard in what we do.
Absolutely. Any thoughts, Thea?
I don't know if I can add anything to what Norbert said. I think he was spot on. Yeah.
Thank you.
You nailed it.
That's a heck of a cosign right there.
No, because he's in it, right? He created a path from a foundation that was already there, and the passion that he had, kind of is driving that. Can you imagine if we had other people like that around the nation doing the same thing? So I applaud Norbert and folks like him that okay, so I got to jump in my sustainability piece of what I do right now. There's a man in the sustainability world. His name is Jason McClellan. He's an architect, and he's all about the Living Building Challenge. And one of his famous quotes, and I shared that with you, is that the only thing that can save us is a sustained awakening of the human heart. Norbert's heart is awakened, right? And he's able to go out and share his passion. I'm all about awakening hearts, so that's what my goal is, to awaken hearts so we can have more like Norbert, my friend Christopher Hope, because I think the traditional education path, absolutely, there's value in that. But for our industry, there needs to be a lot of more marketing that it exists. We need to have all of these pods that are here. I look, I'm like, can you imagine if everyone in this auditorium took 2-3 kids into their world, how different that would make? So I'm about awakening hearts, and I think that's what we do here in what we do.
Well, you've definitely awakened our hearts. We really appreciate you being here and just sharing this information. And we hope, all of you watching at home and here can really take something from that. So thank you so much for being here, Althea and Norbert. We can't thank you enough.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
So I think it's time. Yeah, we've got a great crowd here. So if you're watching at home, yes, hopefully next year you can join us. Well, I think now it's time for us to take a little tour and hear a little bit about the eSports exhibits that we have here today.
I'm joined now by Brad Souza, the Chief Technology Officer at AVI Systems, and we're going to talk about a brand new esports experience at InfoComm. So tell me, why esports and why now for this experience on the showroom floor?
Yeah, so it's a great venue to be at. Here's one of the things that we're seeing. Esports on its own has been a emerging trend, kind of a burgeoning sector in our industry. And one of the reasons why I think our industry wants it to take off, because we're excited about it, is because esports brings together all sorts of disciplines out of our industry. You've got live media and production, you've got front of house audio, you got lighting, you've got streaming, you've got media over IP, all these different disciplines that we think are really awesome. Esports is one of those killer applications that brings all of them together. And I think that's one of the reasons why people get so excited about it.
I agree. There's just a lot going on with all of the experience when it comes to gaming and esports. I mean, like you said, you can just be in there and just in the front of house. You can go to a concert and that's pretty much the only crew you're going to find, except for the stage crew. You go to a movie set, you might find a couple of these, crews on the actual set. But when you go to esports gaming experience or an event or some kind of competition, you're going to find everything streaming, which is residential and business. Yeah, you kind of make me feel like I need to go back to college. I might be in my mid-30s, but I'm never too young, right?
Exactly.
With this show coming up and with InfoComm collaborating with the show, what are you most excited about in regards to this exhibit?
So I think the coolest thing about this exhibit is that it's going to be showcasing a proven design, like an industry reference design that's been delivered to multiple schools. It's been proven to help schools that are first-time rookie teams get established and level up. It's been proven to help collegiate teams that have been in the esports space for a while really create that followership and level up and become championship teams. And it's not about just talking about it. It's all active. You can participate in it. In fact, on Friday, there's going to be availability to those in the industry who want to compete with each other. We're going to do a live industry-based or industry-facing grudge match. Come, bring your best game. Let's play together on stage, and we'll stream it over Twitch. Everybody can watch you do it. So it's really about creating that community. It's going to be awesome.
Be careful. I don't want to make them look silly out there, right? We're trying to instill hope.
Dude, I'm not playing because my active game time on something like Rocket League's like 10 seconds, right?
There you go.
You'll get out there and compete. Somebody like me, maybe not so much.
Well, Brad, thank you so much for your time. We look forward to visiting the eSports X Live, and make sure you save a spot for me, okay? Because I need to get that trophy.
Look for you there.
Definitely want to spot myself. We can see the eSports, that area right there. It looks really cool. And after this, I'm going to check that out. What about you?
Yes. If they don't have Halo 2, I'm out. That was like the one game that I was ever good at. So I feel like I'm going to get destroyed if I even go touch a controller.
I'm more of like a Mario kind of girl, but I never advanced. And Zelda, that's the other one. Didn't know Zelda was like the princess in the castle like the whole time. I was like walking.
Yes, Link is the guy.
Yeah, it took me till like last year to find out that.
What a natural segue into talking about AVIXA TV.
Right? No, well, we're so excited to have our next guest here. They are the Bald AV guys. We've got George Chacko, right? And Rich Miller. They're going to be contributing to AVIXA TV, so we're really excited to have them here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
Definitely. And I see that you've got your Pace shirts on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so a little known fact about me, I went to Pace my first year, so in the Westchester Pleasantville campus. So
Best place to be.
Isn't it? It's gorgeous. So
Yeah, it really
and then
is.
UVA, so wahoo wah. Sorry, still have to do that too. But
All good. We won't hold it against.
oh, please don't. Well, so tell me a little bit first off about your podcast.
Yeah, so the podcast started off as just a fun thing we were doing on the side. Just, after work, on the weekends, late night texts, and suddenly it became a thing where we were having guests on from the industry, other higher ed professionals. We had folks sending us, like demo equipment to unbox. And it's become a thing where we've actually just completed our first season, 12 episodes. We just closed it out with the infamous Joe Way on episode 12. And we have a great team besides George and I. We have Sweet Lou, who's our producer, and Erwin, who is our summer producer, that helps us out with all of our episodes. And it's really become a part of us. And it's really just going hand in hand with the as a part of the educational program that we're building, which I know we're going to talk about later. George, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's even more than that. We have students that are a part of the university, and they're interning with us. They help us edit the videos. They try to do our social media posts because Rich and I are, average at best when it comes to that.
We try.
Doing a good job.
Yeah, I mean, like Rich said, the podcast really started off as a fun thing to do on the side. When we're at coffee shops talking, we're like, hey, can we do this just for the hell of it? Have a conversation and people want to listen to us kind of thing. And then it really grew, and now it's become a larger part where we do have the opportunity to give students a chance to grow and learn the program and kind of figure out their way around podcasts and videos and stuff like that as well. So it's really a cool experience.
Well, I'd love to hear that you're involving students in this process, right? One of the cool things that's happened in our industry over the last probably 4 or 5 years is that the experts in the industry have been willing to become creators, right? Whether that's somebody specifically in education, digital signage, IT, those people willing to become creators. But I love to hear that you guys are leveraging not only your own expertise, but the expertise of those in your communities. So talk a little bit more about that, right? Talk about the power of those students who might not be able to get an internship in a specific location, but can actually help serve and create and run social media and create podcasts.
Yeah, so the biggest thing it ties back into the program at Pace, honestly, because we work in a department called the MCVDA department, the Media Communications and Visual Arts, and it's fully experiential, not just, yes, we're using the word experiential and we're saying we're doing experiential. Everything is hands-on. No exams. Lab, so our course specifically, we do labs pretty much every single week. The students are sitting on the floor crimping cables, and they're learning things like this on the fly. And these are not necessarily students that had an interest in AV before or even knew what AV was, but a lot of them come from the communications department, the digital cinema and film majors. We've had one student, one of our best students, change majors because she was so interested in picking up AV as a minor, which is what we're currently building it out to be.
And as you mentioned, the chair of the department, Dr. Paul Zeke, he has also given us opportunities and students the opportunities to be a part of the podcast, to be a part of the bigger picture, right? So it is hands-on learning. It is real-time learning as well.
And so what is the name of it?
The course.
Yeah, the course.
So the course, so we have one course right now that just ran this last semester. It just ended about 3 weeks ago. It's called MCA 165 Intro to the AV Industry and the Media. And basically, it's we built it from the ground up with our partners, with you guys, with AVIXA.
Shout out to Joseph.
Shout out to Joe, sitting there in the crowd. We basically, it's an intro course, so we touch on a different topic every week. Not to say that things don't overlap, but week one is audio. Week 2 is video. Week 3 is project management. Week 4, they're doing a crimping lab. Week 5, they're doing line diagrams.
Audio, live audio,
live events, podcasting, so on and so forth. So that intro course has now become the basis for this minor, and we're building out. One more course just got approved. That's running in spring of 24. It's more project management based, and then there's a third one in the pipeline, which should be approved shortly as well to kind of round out the minor.
Well, George, I want to ask you about that, right? One of the things that our last segment was about bringing talent into the AV industry, right? It's much easier to teach some of those hard skills, whether it's crimping, whether it's audio editing, video editing. Talk a little bit about how you discuss things like the channel and the buying process and the project management process. How do you introduce that and bring them into that ecosystem that they're probably not familiar with at all?
Absolutely. That's actually a great question. And again, this goes back to that experiential learning, right? And eventually what I want to get to is our absolute favorite yet-to-come course. But I'll get to that in a second. But to bring
you just teased yourself.
Yeah, I did.
That was gonna be my next
I didn't want to
question.
get ahead of myself. You don't realize it is so exciting. You can see I'm about to jump out of my chair here.
see. Don't fall.
I'm going to make sure he doesn't fall.
Don't fall.
Yeah, please, thank you. Just make sure the mic doesn't fall off. The most exciting part, which is yet to come, the way we're going to get there is the students, the experiential learning portion of this is they're sitting there and they have to say, okay, here's a line diagram, right? Here's how I'm going to get to this design. Here's how my... Then the question becomes, all right, you have the design. What are you going to do next? How are you going to tell me that you need to do X, Y, Z in this room? What is your reasoning? And they have to sell that to us, right? And a lot of this is, just to give you an example, a lot of this is also having fun while you're doing it, and that's what the students enjoy the most.
Yes.
So for example, we had a live streaming class, and we had the students stand up and sing us a song. We asked them all to sing Ave Maria or the national anthem, whatever it is. And they went live on Facebook, and next thing you know, their first grade teachers are jumping on and saying, we knew you would make it, or stuff like that. So it's just like having fun, but it's really true story. I'm not making it up. His dad also jumped on and said, what the hell are you doing? But it's about the experiential. So it's like when you get to that level, how are you going to sell this to me? I am your consumer. I am the one that's funding this. How are you going to tell me you need to do this? You can't just give me a line drawing and expect me to say, oh, I want that. No, you can't do that, right? So now get to the real fun part of it. We're planning a capstone program. And the idea of this is the students go through the 165, the 200 level, the 300 level course. They go out to Crestron, shout out to Chris Fitzpatrick there again. Go out to Crestron, do a co-op, do an internship. They come back. And then they're going to pick a space within the university. They're going to go to the tech fee. They're going to present a project. They have to present the entire project. The tech fee approves it. They're going to then create an RFP. They're going to go out to bid. They're going to project manage that construction project, that installation project. And then they're going to see it through and then present back to the tech fee as to here's what we did. And that's going to be their capstone program. That is something we are so, so excited about. And, not to get off on a tangent, but Rich and I... Curveball from the podcast. Rich and I stumbled into the AV industry, truly, right? I came out of a class one day in Miller Hall, and there was a sign outside the door saying, job openings come in. Went in, got a job, and that was, weekend money. So that's how I got into the field. And the more we spoke to folks in the industry, we realized that's what everybody in this industry is, right? We've stumbled into this industry. We've just happened to come across a position and then grown in that position. No one really has a defined course track or whatever you want to call it. You have the CTS, which is extremely important because that is, that is the absolute level of definition for our industry. But to have that 4-year degree program, have that structure, understand the very foundations of AV, you're kind of ready to go when you come out into the real world. And there are more opportunities, and letting students know that there are many opportunities in the AV industry, similar to IT, similar to the business world or whatever it is, because I think folks don't realize how many opportunities there are. Feel free to cut me off because I'm never going to stop.
I'm going to cut him off. I'm just kidding.
No, we're loving. Oh no! But now, is this available on all of the campuses, or?
So right now it's Pleasantville only.
Okay.
Media Communication Visual Arts is a specialized program that operates out of the one campus. So we kind of have that niche, and we have our fall class is already more than halfway full though, and we're only in June, so we're looking forward to filling that and running that again in the fall. We're co-teaching it together again in the fall. One thing I wanted to tack on to that, we didn't talk about the AV Olympics.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Let me just quickly touch on that because that's the most experiential thing we did. That was our final exam. It was the AV Olympics. There were 5 events. We split them up into 4 teams. And the biggest key was not only the problem solving, not only the fact that we threw all of the equipment that they needed into the middle of the room and they had to kind of do their thing and figure out what they needed. Each event, each student had to take like a PM, project management role, and really direct everybody else and kind of show that they came full circle from the, 12, 13 weeks that we, went through different topics and really run that event. And that's how we graded them.
Yeah.
Again, not like a traditional paper and pen Scantron type test, but and true experiential grading. And the AV Olympics were such a huge success, and I think we're going to plan on using them as our final exam in that class going forward.
You thought I talked too much. Listen to this guy.
No, this is great.
So
Last
exciting.
question, because
Yeah.
I know that people want to hear more from you, and I hear just deans calling me and sending me emails and texts right now. How can people get in touch with you? I guarantee everybody's going to have questions. How can people get in
Absolutely.
touch with you to ask?
Call him.
You can definitely, we're both fairly active on LinkedIn, Rich Miller, George Chacko. We try to be active, like George mentioned, on the socials, Instagram, Twitter, @BaldAV guys. Check out our podcast on Spotify. We just wrapped up season 1, 12 episodes. We're going to do some specials over the summer, maybe some unboxings. Our season 2 will be kicking off sometime in September.
Well, thank both of you for coming on today, and hopefully you'll see some of those graduates jumping into the Trailblazer Zone coming into the next few years. With that in mind, check out what Dan Cole had to say about the Trailblazer Zone.
Now we're joined by our colleague at AVIXA, Dan Cole, who is our senior director with our Expo team. Dan, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Sam. Nice to see you.
So, tell us about this brand new Trailblazer Zone. What kind of things can visitors expect?
Well, it's going to be great. This is our first year of activating it on the show floor. It's going to be right outside the A2 entrance, by the way. We really wanted to take advantage of what we've been known for as not just only a trade show, but really an industry event, an important event that has been known for and renowned for innovation. And so we wanted that to manifest itself in a destination-like area. We've called it the Trailblazer Zone. It's for first-time exhibitors only. They are invited to showcase a brand new solution for the industry. I think what you're going to see, even by default in terms of the companies that we've accepted in, I should mention this is a vetted process. People needed to apply to be there. There's just a lot of cool stuff. I don't want to divulge too much because I want people to be able to experience the serendipity on site, showcasing innovation, showcasing game-changing technologies. What this means also is it really does set the stage for future events. You'll see even new companies, as I mentioned, come into the show, perhaps with some new or outlying technology that will set the stage for the future, as I mentioned. So it postures the event very, very well for this year and for future years to come. Destination, be real attractive to attendees and media alike.
I personally, I'm very excited because I love the idea of highlighting these new technologies, and some of the things that are coming in that have been introduced to this area are so innovative, and I can't wait to learn about it. Now I know we don't want to give away the farm on this one. However, I am going to ask, what's one highlight that you personally are really excited about within the Trailblazer Zone?
There's one in particular, not that all of them are not exciting, but one in particular that I recall that focuses on augmented reality. And you'll just have to see it when you come by. It focuses on communication one-to-one online using augmented reality to add to the conversation, to add to the engagement. Very, very cool. But again, I would just emphasize every slot, all 10 slots, feature and showcase technology that is game-changing.
Dan, thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to visiting the Trailblazer Zone and all these amazing activations at InfoComm and seeing yours truly there.
Thanks so much, Sam. It's been great to be with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that Trailblazer Zone is definitely one area that I'm definitely going to go ahead and check out. So are you excited to go and see it yourself?
I am. I'm actually probably going to head over there right after this, which is exciting because I will get to see things that I won't get to even see when I'm walking around the floor because I anticipate it being full. Speaking of, if you are at the show and you're watching right now, tomorrow we encourage you to stop by the AVIXA Exchange live booth. You can hang out with us, but there's also incredible sessions happening all day. One of those sessions that's actually happening right after this is our very first broadcast in Spanish. So be sure to tune in for that at 5 o'clock Eastern today. In the meantime, I want to give a shout out. Where's the man Jabron at? There he is. Jabron, interact with us on social. Jabron's going to respond back to you. Everybody's man in the AVIXA Exchange, or AVIXA and InfoComm accounts. Interact with us on socials. Hashtag InfoComm23, hashtag AVTweets, hashtag ProAV, hashtag Ben Thomas is awesome. But other than that, look, we'll see you guys tomorrow, 9 a.m. back here at the booth live. We'll see you.
Have a great one. Bye, everyone.
If you're installing or troubleshooting network devices, you know that reliable operation depends upon the performance of the cabling and the network. With LinkIQ, you get cable testing from the world leader along with network testing. The LinkIQ can characterize the performance of your cable up to 10 gigabits per second and troubleshoot problems fast. When it's time to connect to the network, LinkIQ shows you the switch name and IP address, the port number, speed, and VLAN. It also shows the IP address of the switch and performs a connectivity test to an IP address of your choice. Plus power over Ethernet testing that includes a load test to make sure the power you need is really there. When you're done, store the results, then document it with Linkware, the industry's de facto standard. LinkIQ, cable testing you trust and network testing you need.
The Microflex Advance MXA902 integrated conferencing ceiling array is the first complete ceiling audio solution for AV conferencing. Because it mounts overhead, it provides more consistent sound quality throughout the room than an all-in-one soundbar mounted on the wall. The MXA902 has all three things needed for exceptional audio in small to medium-sized meeting spaces. First, there's an advanced array microphone with single-zone automatic coverage technology. It captures every participant in a 20 by 20 foot area right out of the box. Second, onboard IntelliMix DSP eliminates annoying echo and room noise and adjusts talker levels automatically. Everyone is heard clearly no matter where they sit. Finally, the MXA902 has a built-in wide dispersion loudspeaker that delivers robust sound throughout the room without the need for external speakers and amplifiers. Remote participants and program audio playback are easy to hear. With its revolutionary integrated design, the MXA902 is quicker to install than individual microphones, loudspeakers, and signal processors. One network cable with PoE Plus is all you need. The MXA902 integrated conferencing ceiling array is the ideal solution for AV conferencing in small and medium-sized meeting rooms. It's the fastest way to better sound.
The industry has evolved over the years. Analog to digital, isolated to network, server-based to cloud-based, but fundamental pains persist. Rolling out hundreds of rooms quickly and reliably is difficult, time-consuming, and expensive. Complex equipment frustrates staff, managers, and executives alike. The recent shift to hybrid offices has organizations considering replacement of outmoded systems. They're looking for simple, reliable, flexible, secure, and easy-to-budget video conferencing solutions. It's time for a totally new approach. It's time the AV industry met the Internet of Things. Introducing Conference Room as a Service, subscription-based products and services only from Wesco. A subscription that scales and works for your business. Together, with your preferred AV installer, we help you choose the right size system for your meeting spaces, small rooms, medium-sized rooms, and large conference rooms. Once you've chosen the size room you want to deploy, choose Zoom or Microsoft Teams and add options like bring your own device and a monitor if needed. Then choose how many rooms you want to add to your subscription. It's that easy. Once your AV integrator has installed and activated your equipment, your Conference Room as a Service subscription has you covered with advanced replacement, an industry-leading warranty, live 24/7 world-class help desk support, and a portal for remote monitoring and service tickets. With this service, all rooms are online and ready to go once connected to the network. It's never been easier to deploy, monitor, and evolve your workplace technologies, all at an affordable price with easy payments. Conference Room as a Service subscription-based products and services, only from Wesco. Simple, reliable, flexible, secure, easy to budget.